back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing what we get in a week for groceries, and I'm going to be sharing our grocery haul and the process of grocery shopping. We actually use Instacart for our grocery shopping. That's what we've been using recently, and we like to use it because it's convenient. My husband works like really long hours, and so it's hard for him to pick up groceries on his way home. And then also I'm at home with the kids, and so I have to pack everybody up. And our local store we like to shop at has really small carts. So I'm trying to handle all these kids like running everywhere, and have a baby in the carrier, and I'm pregnant, and I'm trying to manage everybody. So it ends up being chaotic when I do that. So Instacart is really, really helpful in this situation. But anyways, I'm going to be sharing what we pick up from the grocery store this week. I'm going to be sharing our grocery haul, and I'm going to be sharing what we order. And it might not be as cheap as getting conventional groceries. We value getting organic groceries. We like to buy locally when we can, but it's been a little more difficult to get locally sourced foods. One reason is that there's not a lot of organic food in our area, and I've checked. And there's a few farms that kind of grow a little bit of produce, but there's not a lot. And the reason for that is that our area has a lot of conventional crops. We're like Monsanto Central here. So as far as produce goes, it's hard to get organic produce, but there is a lot of organic animal products here. We have raw milk, we have eggs, we have meat here, but we haven't been buying local meat because of the cost of it. It's usually several dollars more than getting it from the grocery store, and a lot of times we can get it from the grocery store on sale. You wait for the sales to happen and we'll buy like a bunch. So it just makes more sense right now to get the grocery store meat. I've had to really budget this week because my husband doesn't get paid until next week. He is actually a realtor, and so realtors only get paid when they sell a house. And so a lot of times, especially with this market, closings get pushed back, things come up. And so actually my husband was supposed to close on a house a few days ago, and the closing got pushed back a whole month. So that was a paycheck that got moved back. And so when that happens, it happens occasionally. We have to eat a little bit more frugally for the week until my husband's next closing, which is next week. And also, as I've started to mention, the cost of groceries has been going up so extreme. It's become really stressful to buy groceries. And so we've been really trying to pare down what we get and really focus on getting the essentials. And sometimes we'll save money by like not getting fresh herbs. I have dried herbs in the cabinet from my garden and from the store, as well as using stuff from my garden, using stuff we already have in the freezer, in the pantry. We had recently we went through a bunch of beans. I had a whole bunch of beans in there, and so we saved a little bit of money by adding a little bit more beans to our meals. Or if you add rice, potatoes, that helps to stretch out the meals. They might not be exactly the most nutrient dense foods, but they're not unhealthy either. So adding a little bit of those carbohydrates helps stretch the meals out. So typically we do get a little bit more than this, but this week I have to keep the budget around $150. $200 would be max, but we are trying to really keep it as basic as possible. And so how I meal plan is I plan to make about 4 different meals, and I make double batches of those meals. So that would be about 8 dinners. Then for lunch, sometimes if there's leftovers, we'll eat that. We eat like hard-boiled eggs, we might have tuna salad, we might have like avocado toast. We like to do turkey wraps quite a bit, or chicken wraps. We like either buy the deli slices, or we'll roast a whole chicken and then slice that up and use that for sandwiches or wraps. Then for breakfasts, we pretty much do the same thing every day. So in my red box here, I have like a whole bunch of bagels right now in here. And sometimes I make bread, sometimes I make biscuits, sometimes I make rolls. I have some kind of bread for breakfast for me and my one daughter. And for my other daughter, who is gluten-free, I typically provide her with some oatmeal, and we sweeten it with a little bit of honey, and might have some dried fruit on it. And then my son, he really likes yogurt. He's not quite on grains yet. He's only 17 months. So we give him yogurt instead of a carb. And he's been really obsessed with it too. He's just learning how to use a spoon, so he gets so excited for his yogurt every morning. So you'll see as I am planning the grocery list, I am planning around 4 different dinners, and then I have kind of our normal everyday lunches and breakfasts. So in a few minutes here, I'm going to pull up my phone and I'm going to start putting together a grocery list, and I'll record the screen so you can follow along. So when you first go into Instacart, you'll have your stores that you typically go to, and then you also have your family favorites, and so that's easy. You can pick out stuff that you usually put in your cart and then put it in there. So I'm going to put some ground beef in there. And then here I was looking at whether I should get fresh broccoli or frozen broccoli. So the frozen broccoli was cheaper, so I went ahead and added that. I'm going to be making a beef and broccoli stir fry, and I ended up adding some rice to this, but I didn't put it in the cart here. But I needed some coconut aminos. It's a good alternative to soy sauce, so I put that in there. And then I moved on to the next meal that I'm going to make, and it's going to be keema, and it requires sweet potatoes. And here I was debating whether or not I should get purple sweet potatoes or regular sweet potatoes. I just watched that Blue Zones documentary on Netflix, and they're talking about people eating purple sweet potatoes. So I'm really tempted to get them, but they're just a little bit more expensive than the regular sweet potatoes. So I went ahead and just got the regular orange sweet potatoes, and I wasn't quite sure about how many I should get. I should have gotten 6, but I accidentally got 3. So it's kind of hard sometimes to tell with the produce how much you're getting. And for the keema, you also need green beans. So I ended up going frozen ones because they were cheaper. And then it requires some more ground beef and diced tomatoes. Now for my third meal, I needed some sausages, and I already had some potatoes, and I needed some sauerkraut because I was going to make a sheet pan meal with sausage, potato, and sauerkraut. And I ended up going with the beef sausage because it was a little bit cheaper, but still healthy. The sauerkraut though, I was in a debate about it because I usually get either Wild Brine or the Bubby's brand because that is raw, not pasteurized sauerkraut. When it's canned in the jar like this, it loses some of its nutritional value, some of the probiotics, but it was a little bit cheaper. We only needed a little bit, so I just went ahead and got that one. Then for the last meal I'm going to do, and if I didn't already mention this, I usually double the meals, so it ends up being about 8 meals. I wanted to make some chili, so I needed some tomato sauce and more diced tomatoes, so I added those to the cart. And we already had some kidney beans, so I didn't need to buy those. And then I just added some more ground beef, and those are the main ingredients for chili. And then I already had the spices, so I didn't need to buy those. And we like to have fresh fruit with our breakfast, and I like to buy and season fruit if possible, but I also look at what's cost effective. I was eyeing the plums. I really wanted some of those, but I ended up getting some pears. Those were reasonable. And then I ended up getting bananas because those are pretty cheap. So then you can click and review your cart. It shows the total at the top, which is convenient. Then you know about how much you're going to be spending. And then it has the categories and it keeps it organized. And then you can add more, take stuff away before you submit your order. And we like to do a family cart. So that allows my husband to go in on his phone. He checks what I got, and then he can add whatever he wants. He usually adds a few snacks or something. And then he submits the order, and then it arrives at our house. Okay guys, so I wanted to share what we got from the grocery store. So our groceries were just delivered, and it's really convenient. They are just delivered to our front door. And this is all about total like $150. We already have eggs and potatoes over there. So that's included in about $150 worth. And I got a few things for breakfast. I got some bananas, some fruit. We have pears to go with our breakfast. I usually make some kind of bread or something for breakfast, so I have some flour here. I ran out of wheat berries, so I'm using flour. And we have some stuff for, oh, this is for breakfast too. This is cream cheese, and I'm planning on making bagels this week. And then my husband added this to the cart. So what I do is I let my husband go through and review the cart, and then he adds anything he wants. And he added some sliced turkey, probably for sandwiches. And for one of our meals, we're going to be making beef and broccoli with rice. And so we have rice here, we have some broccoli up front here, frozen broccoli, and then I have a bunch of ground beef. And then also we have ground beef to make chili, so I have diced tomatoes, tomato sauce. We already have kidney beans in the pantry, so I'm going to use those. And if I haven't mentioned this already, I'm not typically one to buy my tomato products in cans. I really try to avoid that, but right now we're on a budget, so I got the canned tomato products. And for the beef and broccoli, I also got some coconut aminos to make a nice sauce for it. This is salsa. My husband picked that up. I just put it away, but he had some tortilla chips too. And for another meal that we're gonna make this week, I'm doing some sauerkraut with sausage and potatoes. So that's a pretty simple sheet pan meal. And I like to get beef hot dogs. We don't eat a lot of pork, but we really like beef. I feel that it's really nutrient dense. So I like the beef hot dog. Also, the beef hot dogs are a little cheaper, so I saved like $1 getting the beef hot dogs. And the last recipe that I was going to make this week was keema. It's a Middle Eastern recipe, and it includes sweet potatoes and green beans. I have some frozen green beans and ground beef, and then it has some diced tomatoes in it, and then some seasonings, which we already have. And then my husband also added some cheese because he knows I like raw cheese, so he added that. And we were low on butter, so we got some more butter. And we already got eggs. Actually, my husband went to the store and just picked up a few snack things for himself, but he saw that they had eggs on sale, and they had the and normally we buy local eggs, local pasture-raised eggs, but they were out right now. So he picked up some of these Vital Farms pasture-raised eggs. Usually people in general like to buy the whole dozen, and so these don't sell as fast. So what happened was these were on clearance because nobody was buying them. So my husband got a bunch of these on clearance, so we saved a little bit of money on eggs this week. But he got some yogurt, and we like to have yogurt with our breakfast. And actually, he got some honey too. We like to get raw, unfiltered honey, organic honey. And so he picked up some of this honey. So we have the honey with our yogurt, and then we have the Kelowna, I think that's how you say it, Kelowna Supernatural Organic Non-Homogenized Milk. This is like the next best thing to raw milk. We forgot to place our order for our local raw milk for this week, so we picked up the store-bought milk. In addition to this, for breakfast, we also have some oatmeal. And if you stick around next week, I'm going to share myself actually making these meals. So if you're interested in some recipes and getting some good, cheap, whole food, Weston A. Price style recipes, stick around for next week's video. And please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys again soon. Be well, guys.